everybody, this is the Whispering Voice, and as always, you know what I'm going to say. I hope you're all well and happy. There we are, I've turned it round. This video is going to be just a bit of a ramble, really. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to me for so long. Lots of people write to me and say that they've been listening to me from the start, and that's loyalty and kindness in itself, really. It's because I've said it before, this community has gone so big, and there's new whisperers starting every week, really. There's channels on Facebook. I even seen the other day there's a radio station, ASMR radio or something, I think. So it's branching out into all different aspects of relaxation, whispering and triggering a thing called ASMR. I know these videos I do are quite basic, really. The most popular videos, I think, the cooking videos I do, and the outdoors seem to be very popular amongst people, and other people just enjoy the sounds of whispering, really, and to hear maybe not in what I'm saying, but maybe just the way it sounds as they listen. But I get lots of people asking me questions, because as you know, I tend to try and answer every comment and every personal message I get. Now, a lot of these comments or personal messages are some people wanting to start their own whispering videos for advice. Some have already uploaded their first video and asked me if I'd listen and see what I think, which is, it's a great honour, really, because I'm no expert at this sort of thing. It's just that I do them, I enjoy them, and I'm very lucky to get the responses I get to them. Really, it's but I do listen to the videos, and some of them are fantastic. The sound quality, and the only advice I would ever give anyone is to want to make them. Don't make them if you don't want to make them, or you don't feel like making them, because that will show in your voice, as silly as that may sound. And enjoy yourself. Don't give too much personal details away. Be careful. Speak about what you're happy to speak about and share, and just enjoy them, really. And maybe just watch the speed in which you speak, because if you talk maybe too slowly or too fast, it won't have the same effect. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot is about my childhood, what it was like growing up, and what I did and what I used to do and this, that and the other. So I thought I would just sort of enlighten you really to my childhood. Now, I was born, obviously, and I suppose those days when I was born, nobody in our area had money or spare money, if that makes sense. Everybody paid rent for their houses then. It was, mainly paid rent for their houses. And we used to go to school. Obviously there was no school uniform them days, but you had to be smartly dressed, which tended to be the best that people could afford, really. But we were all in the same boat. You know, you didn't stand out, because everybody was the same. Very loving parents, very hard-working parents. But from an early age, I used to go and stay with my grandmother. My grandfather passed away when I was 4, and or three or four. I vaguely remember him, but I always remember being at ease and very happy with my grandmother. Always seemed to be, whatever I did, I was happier with older generation, listening to their stories and, little things. And of course my grandmother's cooking was absolutely amazing, really. My mother was a good cook, but my grandmother used to do things with food which you couldn't think possible, really. Always tasted good. For instance, any Sunday dinner, roast dinner, nothing was ever wasted, because the vegetables were kept in the fridge, and on the Monday they would all be fried, which may sound disgusting, but believe me, it was absolutely wonderful. Nothing was ever wasted. And as a child, we used to live about a mile away from a local dump, or what would you know it as today? A garbage site, rubbish tip. And as children, that was our playground. And again, I know you must think, oh, that's disgusting. But then there was, health and safety wasn't as strong as it is today, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But that was our playground. It was an adventure. We never knew what you'd see, what you'd do, or anything. It was absolutely fantastic. And of course we used to, me being me, always noticed the foxes scavenging, and lots of seagulls used to come, picking through the rubbish. But our main reason for going to this dump would be to pick up some old wheels off a pram, from a child's pram or buggy, whatever you call it, because those days the wheels used to be about 7 inches in diameter, quite the size of a small plate. And if we could get 4 wheels and lots of pieces of wood, carry them back home, I would ask my father if I could go into the shed and use some nails and a hammer. And he always said yes, as long as you put everything back where you found them. So we used to get some nails and get the wheels put onto the wood, and a piece of rope to a piece of wood across the front, which acted like a steering wheel. It was very basic and, not very safe really, but that was part of the fun if you fell off. And then we used to go to the nearest hill and take turns in going down, and just the sheer joy of it, laughing, and absolutely wonderful. And of course we were out of our mother's way for hours and hours on end, because she could get on with housework or whatever then she wanted to do, and used to come back filthy, but always very tired at the end of the day, because when you were playing, without realising you're doing all this exercise really, and it was just wonderful. A wonderful life really, like that. It was very simple but very happy. We never went without food. As I say, we didn't have a car because we couldn't afford one, and my father never passed his driving test, and he hasn't done to this day, but he's retired now. And he says that the traffic, the way it is now, he's glad he doesn't drive, which is, it is a good thing. And the cost, of course, the cars, to buy the car, to tax it, insure it, to run it, it's very expensive. And another little treat, when the school holidays came, we used to have a trip to the coast, and a place called Rhyl, R-H-Y-L, and we used to wait for the bus to go to this town on the coast to the seaside, and we used to hope it was a double-decker bus, because it meant we could run upstairs and sit at the front. And when we were small, of course, the bus seemed huge, and every now and again the conductor, the chap who took the money, would just let us on free. He used to just whisper to my mother, "Oh, let them go on." And it was wonderful really. We used to have a bucket and spade, go onto the beach, and there was a sweet called the gobstopper, huge round thing. Well, it did keep you quiet for hours. I think that's why my mother bought them. But it was wonderful, and it was a family day out. My mother, my father, my grandmother, and all sorts of members of the family. And my uncle was working then, but it was a wonderful time. And Christmas time, we used to go to the nearest church to us was a Church of England, and we used to go in. We were allowed to stay up on Christmas Eve and to go to midnight mass. Now, what that was a late night service, about roughly, I think it was 10 or 11 o'clock at night. 11, I think. was a service and we used to sing Christmas carols. And we used to look forward to this because mainly it wasn't to go to church or to the service, it was because we were allowed to stay up late. And of course it was Christmas Eve, so everything was, I always remember going, and it was a big thing for us to be staying up 11 o'clock at night, going out and into church. It was all beautiful colours and warm, and we used to have a service singing all the Christmas carols. Everybody was happy, and at the end wishing each other happy Christmas, and they used to come down to us as children and say that I hope Father Christmas brings you what you want. And on the way home we always used to look in the sky and listen out for some sleigh bells to see if he'd come, or maybe we'd have a glimpse of Father Christmas as he came across the sky in his sleigh. And it was a wonderful little thing, really. Very happy childhood. But that leads me on to a listener who listens to my videos. Ideas, Justice and Music, I think the channel is called. Now, congratulations, my friend, because I know you've just had baby twins, boys, Elijah and Caleb, who were born on the 2nd of August of this year. And they were born 2 months prematurely, 2 months early, and had to stay in hospital for 50 days. But they've been home now for 2 weeks and they're doing very well. So, congratulations, my friend, and I think that's one of the most wonderful gifts in life, is giving new life. And I think that goes from any species, really, from humans to animals. It's also been a year on the 5th of October, which has just gone, since my uncle passed away, and it's my word, it's gone quickly. It only seems like a few weeks ago, really, when I think about it. So I'll have a visit up to the grave and put some flowers on for him. So, and the weather today is cloudy but dry, but it's forecast to go wet again, I think, tomorrow. So it's typical at the moment. We're into autumn now, or fall, whatever you know it as. And the leaves have started to drop off the trees and change colour. And I'm going to try and get this onto film for you to see the different colours we have here. I think it's wonderful, because there will be a cooking video coming up, and a walking video, so I'm not sure which will come first, but we'll see. Or I may combine the two, we'll see. So that's about it, I think. I hope you've enjoyed this video, found some sort of relaxation or peace in listening to it. And as I say, even if you're not listening to the words or what I'm saying, if it can drift you off into another place for 10 minutes, then it's worth making it. So thanks for listening,